So, like I said, nice to see everyone. And, you know, best wishes for a happy, healthy new year for everyone. First up, we have our minutes from the previous meeting from December 2nd. I did note one. Marge, I know you said you didn't receive a copy. I did note one error in there. Where it says Marge M. Carmody made a motion to accept the minutes of the December 2nd, 2020 meeting. It's just the wrong date. It would have been the November meeting.
I'm sorry.
No big deal.
The November meeting.
Hello.
I apologize.
No, it's not. It's my fault. I said the wrong day. Okay.
We'll fix it.
All right. Hi, Sue. How are you? All right.
Back-to-back meetings. I'm a meeting. Sorry.
No problem. Let's continue. Well, I mean, sorry. The minutes. Any other questions, comments, changes to the minutes from December 2nd?
No. I'll make a motion to accept the minutes.
Is that Julie?
Yes, that's Julie.
Okay.
I'm on my phone. My laptop isn't working, so I'm on my phone.
Oh, I see. Okay, I see your name now.
I'm sorry.
All right. Julie made a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Tony seconds. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries to accept the minutes from December 2nd. Guest and public comment. Correspondence. I have not received any this past month. I don't know if anyone else has.
No correspondence.
No correspondence. Treasurer's report. I have
Well,
no information on that.
yeah, we still have about $17,000 remaining in our special projects budget. And if we save $4,900 for DBI, do the spraying in the spring, then that leaves us with 12,000 and a little bit. I was thinking about the paving job. We were going to take that out of the Gursky House budget, but really it's not just for the Gursky House, it's also for Williams Park for people to access. So I was thinking it would be reasonable if we took like 10,000 from our budget for paving and the other 20 from the house account, or we could use some of that 12,000 for either tree trimming if there's some place we know of that needs it. And we should probably save a little bit for Earth and Arbor Day in case we want to buy some plants.
Yeah. When do we have to
ideas?
spend the money by?
End of June.
Okay.
And you said they have us on the docket in the spring to pave?
Yeah, I talked to Ralph about it and he said we're one of the first.
Oh, great. Wow. Okay. So how does that process work? Do they get paid after they're done?
I was going to allocate a transfer when you guys decide you want me to their budget. So sometime before June.
Okay.
I don't think he cares exactly when, but sooner the better, probably.
Alice, where will the paving go from what point to what point?
It goes from the road, from 133, up to the little parking area and up to James' house. And his parking area will be done. And then it ends right there where the road up to the garden starts.
Will there be more parking area near the cemetery for people to park, public parking?
No, it'll pretty much be exactly as we have it now.
Okay. Thank you.
Just as a little aside, there's a porta potty there. I'm not sure why. Does anyone?
Funny you say that because I noticed it too. And I asked Mary Knox if she knew, and she had no idea. But
I noticed it too.
it's the company that Parks and Rec usually uses. So she was going to call and find out. Maybe they just did it by mistake. She doesn't know.
Where was it?
It's right behind the barn on the Gursky homestead.
Oh my gosh. That's so
You can
funny.
see it from the
Well,
road. I noticed
they
it
mean-
driving by.
Yeah.
Did they mean for it to be at the garden? Because I thought the Lions Club always had one up by the garden.
No,
Oh,
I don't
maybe.
remember there ever being a porta potty up there.
You don't?
Not when I was there, but I haven't been up there for about 3 years.
There has been one up there.
Well, I think they'll figure it out.
Okay.
Somebody will.
So do we want to make the motion to allocate the funds at this meeting, or do we want to, I mean, we have some time, but,
Yeah.
maybe,
Alice, is it a problem if we wait another month to decide?
No, you can wait another month. But I was just bringing it up because you might want to give some thought to, are there any properties that need additional tree trimming?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't burn out our remaining budget, right, on that?
Right.
Okay. Yeah, I would suggest waiting a little bit to see if something else did pop up for sure, yeah.
Okay.
We don't have to make a motion on that. Did we bring it?
No.
We were,
No, there's no motion yet.
okay.
That actually leads us right into this old business 6A spending projects, which is, what we kind of just touched on. And any other spending projects that people have ideas for.
I was thinking about Marge's barn quilt. Can we try and figure out what money we would be spending on that and kind of out so that I just like to plan. I'd like the idea of planning ahead. So when spring comes, we can just do it instead of having to go through a month's worth of meetings. We could just start it,
Yeah.
I'm glad that there's interest in this because I think it's a great thing. I don't have any idea on any cost or who does the quilts. This is why I was talking to Sue Bailey, who's involved in the New Milford quilt trail.
Okay.
And maybe I can get back to her unless you know something that I don't know.
I don't know
Maybe
anything. I just know that I've been seeing them everywhere.
Yeah, aren't they great?
I don't know how big we were thinking of going. Is it definitely going to just go on the barn at Gursky? Is that where we're putting it? Do we all paint of tile or just we hire a company to do it? I have no idea.
I can get back to Sue Bailey and ask her questions about it because she was going to come to one of our meetings when all this COVID thing came on. But I can call her and see
maybe
if I
she
can
could come to her. Maybe she could attend virtually, or is she not able to do that?
I imagine she is. She's
Okay.
more modern than I am. But let me call her.
Okay.
Let me call her and get back on that to see, I have
Okay.
any, because I know it's been a year, but, beyond our control.
And if she
Yeah, okay.
can kind of come with some figures so we kind of get an idea of what we're dealing with.
Yeah. I'll call her and see what info I can get.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Marge.
Okay.
All right. So that'll move us into new business. And we actually have a lot more new business other than what's listed here. Something that's come up recently in the last week or so. So we'll get to that. The first thing is the Wildlife Encounters course. Now that was, if you recall, done by a local resident, Summer Hogenboom, who she actually ran 2 sessions, one at the end of August at the Nature Center, and she did another one in September. And she actually contacted me, so I guess there is some correspondence. I'm sorry. She wanted to do one originally the last weekend. Like this past weekend, but she wasn't sure about, this was before the snowstorm that we had in December. And then she was thinking of doing then she got back to me again saying, oh, I don't know now because of this big rainstorm we were supposed to get. I forgot what day it was. So I don't think she has one in the works, but she's planning on doing another one. And I asked her, I said, when the ground is frozen, can you still see tracks? And she's like, oh yeah. She said, definitely. So she does all her own promoting for that. And she does incur a little cost that I said we could compensate her on, which is just like printing costs and stuff like that. So, because she prints out little like flyers and brochures and that kind of thing.
Sure.
For the
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
But as of right now, I'm not sure on the exact date when she's planning on doing another one. So I will let everyone know if and when she is. So that will take care of that.
Okay.
Next up is the election of officers, which we do the beginning of every year. And so, I'll leave that out there for anyone to make any nominations of any sort. One thing I will say before we get into this is, I was talking to actually Marge today about this. If you look at our, commission, our roster, so to speak, we have a lot of inactives that are on there. I know that Cliff resigned recently. He's not listed on there anymore, but we still have Ryan. We still have I know Mac is on there. There's a space, but it's not like anyone's beating down the door either. But the thing is, I think it would be nice to try to get some more or new people in. I'm just not sure about the process of doing that, especially in our current situation. So, I just wanted to put that out there first. So
what do if we know people that are maybe capable or have knowledge that might be valuable to us, like if we could duplicate Alice with all of her knowledge as far as, birds and environment, if there are other people out there that might be helpful to the commission, maybe we could ask.
absolutely. And the process, Sue, I believe is they have to be approved by the selectmen.
We do approve them, yes. Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
So if they're Republican, they talk to the Republican town committee. Democrat would be the same. If they're not affiliated with a party, then they can just reach right out to Ginny.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. So I think Cliff was our most recent new member, I want to say.
Yeah, and we don't know what
Right?
happened
I mean,
there.
if you think about the last few years, he's really been, because I think Mac was in before he was. And yeah, that's it. So,
Okay.
All right. So election of officers, there's primarily 4 of us that are here today. Also Stephanie, but I know that Stephanie's been wanting to take a lesser role as well. So yeah.
Could I make a motion?
Okay, go ahead.
Could I move that we have the same people in office, including Stephanie, and when and if she resigns from the committee, then we would replace her as a treasurer? I don't think it would be, right to, take her off before she resigns.
Oh yeah, no, I want to taking her off. I'm just saying there's,
No, but I'm saying have the same officers.
Okay.
And what about the people that we think want to resign but don't come to meetings to let us know? I mean, what's happening with that? What about the people that don't come to meetings? Do they not want to be part of it anymore? Do we know?
I can ask. Ryan and Mac. I can ask.
And
But
then
we don't have
what do
anyone
we
to
do?
fill
Do we have
We don't have
Sorry.
anyone to fill their spot. So
right?
at this point,
Yeah.
Yeah, that I had brought that up before, months ago. Like,
Yeah.
there's no point if there's no one really
Okay.
coming in,
Okay.
at this point. So, okay.
At least it
All
makes
right,
it look
so-
like it makes it look like we have interest if there's a bunch of us.
What a bunch.
Okay.
So, Marge has made a motion to keep the current officers. Is there a second for that?
I second that.
All right, Tony seconds. Any discussion?
Mm-mm.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Aye. All right, so the current officers will stand. Next up, so Julie, I'm going to kind of turn some things over to you in a second here with, because Julie had a few items.
Okay. You have to
and
remind
one-
me what they were.
I'm going to actually share my screen, Julie, if this is going to help. This has to do with the
Oh, let me make you a host. Sorry.
municipal building committee, correct?
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. Sorry. Let me make. I have to get over here. Co-host. Yes. Okay. Now you can.
Who's co-hosting?
Jeffrey.
Oh, good. Okay. I'm like, I don't have anything to share except my voice. Yes. So I know that this, over the past year, we had some interesting thoughts and some scary moments with Erickson, which I believe that we've successfully gotten through that without any big construction projects impending on the Erickson property. There is, however, some concern by a few people that have brought it to my attention. I was looking through this map and I do not see it, but there is some kind of a path leading to the Erickson property.
All right, so I don't know if you could see that. Well, Julie, you're on your phone, right?
Yeah, but I can see the map.
Okay, so you see, is this the map you're referring to at the southern part of this screen here?
Yeah, but I don't see a trail or a path anywhere.
There is a little trail here.
Oh, I see it now.
That looks like it
Okay.
runs along the southern edge here.
Did Mrs.
Okay.
Petiprin call you? Julie?
Pardon me? Who?
Did Mrs. Petiprin call you?
No.
Laura? No.
No, they're people that have been to our meetings before.
Yeah, the Petiprins. Yeah, that's her.
I
That's
don't
one
know.
of them.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure. I guess I don't know her last name.
Yeah, have spoken to her and she mentioned this, and it was between Municipal Building Committee and Board of Ed. It has not been presented to a single committee or
Yeah.
commission. So the approved plans currently do not show anything going
Right.
to anybody,
Right.
any area outside.
That's what I told them. I know that we had talked about it before, and I said I was, as far as we're aware of, there are no plans to put fields at the Erickson property.
Right. And actually, I did contact Steve Dunn and
Uh-huh.
ask him if he knew anything about it. And he got in touch with Paul Checo, who's the head of the Municipal Building Committee. And he asked him, are there any plans to do anything on the Erickson property? And he answered, nope.
Okay. Yay. Okay.
And
So, having said that, I'm wondering how the commission feels, and I brought this up before, but then COVID happened and everything's been pushed aside, about approaching, I don't know how we go about it, the selectmen, the town attorney, about putting either changing that Schedule A and getting rid of that little blurb about baseball fields, or just putting also on top of that some kind of a conservation easement on that property. Is that something that anybody might be interested in talking about? Is that taboo? I mean, it just seems sensible if this happened and everybody was very sensitive about it and didn't want the fields there. How can we make sure that doesn't happen again? And to conserve the property, to do our job. So that's what I have to ask.
I think it's a very good.
Go ahead.
I think it's a very good thought, Julie.
Okay.
That if there was some way of making it a protected land instead of having, somebody put dibs in that we're going to do something there. I think
It's
that would be
always
a
going to
great-
be it's always going to be like a quote unquote threat. And I know
Yeah,
we aren't really allowed to have an opinion for whatever reason, but I think that we should, if we can, try to do something.
No, I think you're allowed to have an opinion, and if the commission wants to propose that, then I could find out how to go about doing that. I think it might have to be a public hearing. I'm not sure, a public meeting.
Okay.
yay, Alice.
Yay, Alice.
Well, yeah,
Yay,
and
Alice.
you're right though. It's always going to be looming there. I do know from also being part of the baseball and softball association, the Brookfield, that they've also pretty much no, not pretty much, but they've abandoned any idea of trying to put fields there. So
Right. Yeah.
and
For
that was at
now.
our most
I mean,
recent
who knows
meeting.
what
Yeah,
could happen 5 years down the road? It might
True.
come up again, and
Yeah.
you might not be
Right.
here. I might not be here. Marge might not be here, and it would be horrible. So let's try and change it now while we can, if we can.
Very
yeah.
good.
And this little drawing that they have here with this aerial view of the school, yeah, this path, it does seem to lead to Erickson, but that doesn't seem like it's anything of anything.
Or was it a path that's already there that they just put in there? A new, I don't know.
No,
where.
I don't think that's an existing path. I just think that's
Okay.
looks like a sidewalk, maybe. I don't know, but
Okay. So, Alice, do you ask, or do you want one of us to try and do something? What would you think is best way to go?
Did you guys all vote to go ahead and see if that can happen?
Yeah.
So
You
I'll
did?
make can I make a motion to,
And how do you want it worded? Like, are you going to keep it as, could a path be put through there? Is it? What exactly are you hoping?
I don't have an issue with a path. I mean, if the kids can walk there safely to the property to enjoy it as open space, I think a path is a good idea. I just think that we should try. I would like to try and change the Schedule A to change that thing that says except ball fields or whatever that is at the end. I think it would be a good idea for us to get rid of that.
Oh, okay. So just take that out of the wording.
And maybe try, and also on top of that, see if we can put a conservation easement in there somehow. Is that something the town can do, or do we have to ask? I don't know how that works.
Yeah, I'll have to find out.
Didn't the town go through this years ago with one of our other open spaces where there was a referendum that said it could only be used for passive recreation? I forget whether that was Happy Landings. I remember years ago, there was some sort of a referendum.
The town voted, we tried to get preserved or protected open space when Bonnie Smith was still in charge, our first selectman.
Mm-hmm.
But that never made it through. And we tried to get Burr and Happy Landings as protected. But what was the deal there, Marge? Those both weren't they?
There were 4 questions on the ballot when they Burr and Happy Landings were voted by the town.
Right.
And the first ballot, Burr and Happy Landings, they voted to buy, and Burr was voted as protected, but Happy Landings came up as a tie vote, so they had to go back for another referendum, and then they voted it as a protected.
Okay, so those both are protected.
Yes.
Yeah, and that was through a public meeting, a town vote.
Yes.
Yeah,
So that's
20 years.
That would have to go through a vote, huh?
I think so.
Yeah.
okay.
But let's pursue it. Let's pursue it. Alice is going to talk to the town attorney.
Well, I'll start with the first selectman. He might have an idea.
First selectman. Okay.
Okay. All right.
All right. Do we need to make
Thank
some
you.
kind of motion?
I don't know. I don't think so. I'll just do some research and see what it takes. And then you'll probably have to make a motion and then they'll have to make a motion.
Okay.
We'll have to have some sort of hearing.
Everyone making motions. All right.
Thank you very much, Alice.
talk to Tom.
All right. Thanks for bringing that up, Julie. The next thing is, and Julie, I don't know if you wanted me to bring up the Williams Park. I could show everyone that picture that you sent as well.
Oh, yeah. Okay, sure. So if you're going in through the library up to the fields, at the bottom of that last hill where you walk up to get to the fields. And I don't know if Mac has seen it recently or if you guys have been up there, but every year the bottom of that hill is so muddy and filled with water, people can't walk through it and they end up having to go through the woods, and there's trees down, big logs and it's hard to get around. I was there with some family over the holidays and I said, you know what, maybe something can be done here where a trail building class or a Boy Scout could get in there and just put some kind of water drainage, or I've seen it where I don't know what they're called, but it's kind of like a sideways log so that the water goes out one way and it doesn't puddle there, because it's a huge mess. It's 20 feet by 10 feet of muck and it doesn't really go away.
Where is
Pardon?
it, Julie?
So if you're at the field and you're going down the path to go towards the library,
Towards
it's
the
at the
pond.
bottom.
Library.
It's at the bottom of the hill there, where there's a fork where you
Oh.
can either go left or straight.
Oh, I didn't know it had ever been that bad.
It's usually, I had mentioned it to Jeff, and Jeff was like, "Isn't it always like that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we need to fix it. It's gross." And it can ice over, and it's dangerous. And if it's Boy Scouts are looking for a good project, or maybe we can have some kind of a trail building class. I know there are people out there that do that kind of thing, and it might be well attended. I don't know, but we should look at that, I think, in my opinion.
And we could talk to Parks and Rec too, or I could, and see if they already know about it.
Okay. I mean, even just in the wintertime, maybe to dump some wood chips there, just so
Right.
that we can walk through and not be up to your ankles in mud.
Gotcha.
Julie, is this below where the tennis courts are?
Tennis
No?
court.
You come in, you go in across from the library and then go down the trail?
Oh, yes. No. If you go past
No?
the pond, and you know
Yeah.
where that enclosure is, that is a
Oh,
Boy
yeah,
Scout.
some Boy Scout did, yeah.
Right. So if you go past that a little bit and you're at the base of this hill that goes up to get to the fields, it's right there.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And it's just a natural drainage. It's where the water comes down from that hill and it doesn't go anywhere. It just sits there.
Right.
Yeah, that's a well-traveled part of that park too.
Right.
It's not just off on some distant trail. So yeah.
And we were walking through the woods around it, and it's just not attractive. So if we can have the means to fix it, we should.
All right.
And now I'm done.
So the next thing, the last thing that I have to add to the agenda is, which I know that we've talked about the last few years. In the beginning of the year, are goals for the year. And, I know it's tough to even try to plan ahead or to think about those kind of things. And so, I'm hoping that we could, obviously last year was a wash, right? So hoping that this year, we'll at least have something. Maybe we do have a trails event of some sort at some point. Probably not Earth Day, is too close, but something along those lines, mid-year or later on in the year, that we could, host and be a part of it and whatnot. Because I know that one of our goals too, going back a few years, was to really raise public awareness about what we do.
Absolutely.
And the different spaces that we have. But that, you think about that though, that's one of the things that really has come out of this pandemic is, our properties have seen more use than they ever have before. I mean, let's be honest.
Oh, yeah.
Which is great, so there is that, I think people are aware because of that. I just think that, that could be one of our goals again, moving forward. I think getting some new members, is another potential goal for us. And, I think we've done, the past 2 years, I think we've done a great job at our management. We learned from some mistakes from 2019, I want to say. And we haven't gotten anywhere near the number of complaints or issues that we have gotten in, that we did that year. So, it seems that we do have a good management schedule, and we put together that list as well. And I thank Alice and Diane for doing that as well, about the properties, who takes care of what, and when those are mowed and whatnot. So I think the only really boo-boo we made this year, and it wasn't us, it wasn't anyone's fault, is that field was mowed that has that protective.
We had a very ambitious farmer.
Yes, but the very
rare.
The very protective botanist as well. Throw that in the mix.
Yeah.
So accusatory botanist. Yeah, scratch that for a minute. So yeah.
Okay.
So that's it, and I think that they also, they meaning our mowers, like Bobby Fisher, they kind of wait for our word,
right,
on when to mow. I know I talked to him about Erickson and Alice. You talked to the Public Works about doing Happy Landings, correct?
This year, about having them do it later on in the year, right? Which they did. So.
Yeah, and Erickson was done later too, which I thought that was good. Does everybody feel that? I mean, I always, in the back of my mind, I feel like maybe we're gypping the farmer for not getting the hay because the invasives grew into the hay and now they don't want it. Am I correct when I think that?
Are you talking about Happy Landings?
I'm talking about any property where the farmer mows it and gets the hay, but
at the Erickson, nobody gets the hay. It's just brush hog once a year. So that isn't hayable, really. It's going to become weeded, basically. Yeah. Happy Landings, you guys haven't really decided yet what you want to do with that. My suggestion was back half.
Right. Yeah, I thought we decided on that.
Well, we haven't taken care of the knapweed yet. That's kind of the first step.
Okay.
But the less we hay it, the less chance it'll ever be hayable without a lot of expense. And then Williams Park is hayed twice a year, 3 times a year. And since it always has been, nobody seems to mind.
And Bobby Fisher is able to use that, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. How is he doing? His health, do you know?
I haven't seen him in the past few weeks, but I give him food occasionally and brings back his dishes. And
very nice. And Tony, I want to thank you for all your work that you do with Nabby Road, and with the Giving Garden. I know that's a lot over there, and it's a headache as well. So thank you for really taking care of that and really taking that off our plates as well. So appreciate that.
Definitely.
So that's why I want to leave it open now. If anyone else has any other ideas or goals for the year or anything that they would like to see, please share with us or think about it for next time.
Did we want to also replace a couple of those apple trees that died at Gursky?
Oh, I had forgotten about that.
Is Alice still there?
Yeah.
Okay. We were talking about for Arbor Day. Do you think it's a good idea to plant apple trees there? Or are they not? They just got weed whacked to death, right? It wasn't anything with the environment.
Right. I think as long as that's maintained, we'd be okay. you know,
Okay.
some sort of mulching so that they don't weed whack it.
So maybe we could have an event where
Yeah.
we could plant some apple trees, because I love the old picture that's of that with the apple blossoms, and it's such a beautiful picture. I'd love to see that there again.
Yeah, I think that'd be very doable.
The only downside is the fruit trees obviously require more maintenance, correct?
Yeah.
Like spraying, yeah. So that's the other side of it. But yeah, definitely, I think that would be great.
Okay.
All right. Marge, Tony, anything on your end or anything you want to share with us? Share with the group?
One thing I would like to, are there any split rails at the nature center in the garage? I notice I have at least one that needs replacing.
I can't remember if there are any left because we replaced the split rail around the Gursky cemetery.
Oh, cemetery?
So if there are any left, they would have put them in the garage. Yeah, you can take a look.
I'll take a look.
Okay.
And I also would like to thank Alice Dew for making up the brochures for me for the Burr Farm. She
Well,
did a lovely job.
Guess what, Marge? I didn't have to. I found them.
You found them? What do you mean?
They were in a box in town hall.
Are
Oh,
you
wow.
serious?
Recycling.
I thought you made them.
No, I'm not that fast.
Cleaning
Well,
out
thank
your
you, Alice.
drawers there?
What's that,
Say
Sue?
that again.
Cleaning out all the drawers. Now we're making room for you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
that was
that's
also
something
in
else?
the that was in the minutes from last meeting as well. Yeah, the request that you put in there, Marge. So thank you, Alice, for doing that.
Thank you, Alice. And we were going to do something with similar information folders on the Gursky
Erickson. Yeah, we were.
That's right, the
and
kiosk.
pushed it
Yeah.
into the kiosk. I think the kiosk needs a little work also.
The information about the Giving Garden. Yeah, I know we talked about that. Yeah.
And the property itself, you know.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
something we could do for, talking about this year's projects.
Yeah, I will look into that for us. I'll put some things together for us.
Okay.
Okay.
Was that something? Was I supposed to do something and I'm forgetting? Like one of
I had offered to contact the Giving Garden folks to see if they would like to have anything put in the kiosk, and I haven't heard back to them from the email I had sent them back in November timeframe, and it's kind of a quiet period for them, so I haven't pursued it. But as we get closer to spring, I will reach out to them and remind them that we still do need to renew their lease for the Giving Garden. And also maybe see if they would like a little corner of the kiosk to promote their efforts.
have you all seen the Facebook picture? I don't know if I brought it up at the last meeting, but the horse and sleigh was there. I guess the horses across the street, or somebody brought in their horse with a sleigh, and they were doing a little sleigh ride around the field there. It was so awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
Good.
Huh.
And somebody was posting it saying, "Look what I saw." It was just such a nice post.
Wow. All right. And Tony, anything that you would like to see for this upcoming year?
Well, I still am trying to follow up with Pete McPadden about the patio at the residence there.
Yeah.
There's very bad spalling of the concrete. I know it's hard to do anything about that through the winter, and he was very busy before the holidays, and we plan to follow up and see if we can coordinate maybe him stopping by to take a look at it and give us an estimate on what he thinks that would take to refurbish.
Okay.
One other thing, I don't know if this is something, that's worth worrying about, but I did notice that there seems to, the encroachment of poison ivy at the back half of the Erickson field is pretty severe. I'm accustomed to seeing poison ivy vines growing up trees, but in the back half of those fields, you can see in the spring, especially when the leaves are nice and shiny and red, there's poison ivy almost crossing the entire field now as it grows along the ground.
Wow.
I don't know, and it's a native species, so I don't know if it's our part to do anything to fight that, but I'd also
That
hate to see
happens near the
poison ivy
apple
take
trees.
it over.
That happens near the apple trees at the. Oh, you're talking about
Nature.
Are you talking about Gursky or Erickson now?
I'm
Sorry.
talking about Erickson.
Yeah, it happens at Gursky too. All in the grass where those apple trees are.
We should probably rent some of those goats that they have that go. People bring around goats and they rent them, and they eat up all that kind of junk.
Yeah, now I'd like to look into maybe a little bit more about that, how you can encourage the goats to go after the poison ivy and not
They love it.
the rest of it.
We'd have to get some kind of an enclosure, otherwise stand there with a big rope for a long time.
Well, if they want to bring them up to the garden, the Lions Club found somebody, so maybe we can kind of get them around town.
The Lions Club found somebody with goats?
Yeah, that they want to bring over and let them eat up the poison ivy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, you have to be kind of careful with goats. Aren't sheep the better choice because goats will eat pretty much everything?
Yeah, they will.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll
Catch it early in the season before they plant.
I think you'll have to cover any trees you want to have survive.
Yeah,
if you have goats.
they would prefer the leaves of trees rather than the poison ivy. If the leaves are there, they'll go after the leaves.
Well, something to
Well,
look
it's a
into,
thought.
anyway, right?
What?
Well, something to look into. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the other idea I had was, maybe some sort of a pollinator garden at Erickson. Nothing fancy. Even if it's just a whole bunch of milkweed, for example.
Where could we put that? Maybe down by the road in that grassy area that doesn't really get mowed? We could throw wildflower seeds there.
That would be a great idea. And milkweed. That's
Yeah.
maybe
milkweed's
we attract the monarchs.
I am buying from a place called Renee's Garden. It's a can of pollinator seeds. And I have a friend who gave me actually a bunch of milkweed pods. I think it's $20 for a can, and that would cover the whole field there. I could just get another can if we want. I'd be happy to make that donation.
Yeah, and that could actually even be an Earth Day thing too. Some kind of thing like that. Yeah.
Is that okay, Tony?
Yeah, that sounds right along the lines of what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Wouldn't you have to rototill it or something to, get rid of what's there?
I don't think I planted this year. I made this pollinator garden, and they're pretty much wildflower seeds that I think would be fine. I don't know. What do you think, Alice?
I think that Stephanie's doing the wildflower garden at Nature Center. And we could follow that example, but that's a lot of work and a lot of money because wildflower gardens are often taken over by weeds and invasives.
Yeah. Well, I think that the area I'm looking at is mostly just hay. I'm trying to think if there's invasives there. There's like that patch of grass next to where the shed used to be.
Oh, yeah. You could try it. You could try throwing down seed first and see if that works. And if not,
see if it happens. Yeah. And then we could go.
Aggressive.
Yes, exactly. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Well, anything else for tonight?
No.
All right. Well, Then I will make a motion to adjourn. 7:44.
I'll second it.
All right. All those in favor?
Hi.
Aye.
All right.
Good.
Motion
Good
carries.
meeting, Jeff.
Thank you,
Good meeting.
and we will, we'll meet up again in a month. Like I said, Happy New Year to everyone, and nice to see and hear from everybody.
Yes. Happy New Year.
And
Yeah.
Happy New Year.
You guys.
Thank you, Jeff.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Bye.
Be
Bye.
safe.